Hello and welcome to Royal Vibes. Prince Harry's latest speech seems almost a desperate attempt to stay in the limelight. Prince Harry's decision to deliver a speech focused on Nelson Mandela, which touched upon political issues, has been described as almost a reach by a commentator. Prince Harry will miss the UK more and more, says the expert. The Duke of Sussex took center stage at the United Nations headquarters in July during a General Assembly plenary session marking Nelson Mandela International Day. Prince Harry was asked by the Mandela Foundation to deliver the keynote address during the event in New York. In his speech, the royal spoke of a global assault on democracy and freedom and appeared to criticize the U.S. Supreme Court's decision to overturn the Roe v. Wade ruling, which, since 1973, had granted people the right to have an abortion across the 50 states. Examining the Duke's speech, brand and reputation management expert Eric Schiffer said the address seemed almost a desperate attempt to stay in the limelight. The California-based expert told express.co.uk that he is entering a political area that frankly in deep water and somewhat a strange choice, almost a reach. The expert said the Duke of Sussex doesn't have a direct tie with the late South African leader. Rather, he has a strong love for Africa and his mother's links to Nelson Mandela. He continued, "It comes across as almost a serious reach and almost a desperate attempt to stay in the limelight and be positioned as a leader." Mr. Schiffer claimed Harris seemed in some way to not so comfortable during his delivery of that speech. The expert went on to say he believed his perceived uncomfortableness may have stemmed from the fact that I think he even knows he's going to get beaten down for tackling topics for which he doesn't have strong credentials. On the other hand, when it comes to advocating for issues he has focused his attention on for years, such as mental health, the Duke is best positioned, Mr. Schiffer said. He explained, "He is best positioned on areas in which I think he has authority, and that is speaking on behalf of young people on matters involving mental health, where he has his own empathic perspective based on his life and moving away from issues that are, I think, areas where he is not an expert or comes across as a reach." In his speech at the UN, the Duke recalled Princess Diana's meeting in 1997 with Mr. Mandela, immortalized in a famous picture showing the humanitarians shaking hands with huge smiles on their faces. After saying people who, like him, have not been lucky enough to get to meet Mr. Mandela in person got to understand him through photographs, his speeches and his writing, Harry said, "For me, there's one photo in particular that stands out. On my wall and in my heart, every day, is an image of my mother and Mandela meeting in Cape Town in 1997. After saying the picture had been presented to him by another anti-apartheid leader, Archbishop Desmond Tutu, during the Sussex tour of the South African in September 2019, the royal continued, "When I first looked at the photo straight away, that what jumped out was the joy on my mother's face, the playfulness, cheekiness, even pure delight to be in communion with another soul so committed to serving humanity. Then I looked at Mandela. Here was a man with the weight of the world on his shoulders, asked to heal his country from the wreckage of its past and transform it to the future." After speaking about Mr. Mandela's indomitable spirit even during his 27 years in prison and in the face of the worst adversities, the Duke added, "This has been a painful year in a painful decade. We are living through a pandemic that continues to ravage communities in every corner of the globe, climate change wreaking havoc on our planet, with the most vulnerable suffering most of all. The few weaponizing lies and disinformation at the expense of many. And from the horrific war in Ukraine to the rolling back in constitutional rights here in the United States, we are witnessing a global assault on democracy and freedom, the cost of Mandela's life." Harry's wife Meghan Markle, who accompanied the to the UN headquarters, had previously spoken about the Duke's reaction to the Supreme Court's ruling on abortion rights. In an interview with Vogue, the Duchess of Sussex, while saying men should also support reproductive rights, revealed, "My husband and I talked about that a lot over the past few days. He's a feminist too," she added, "and his reaction last week was guttural like mine. I know that for so many women right now there's a sentiment of despair, But again, we have to brand together and not wallow. We have to do the work. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.